Hello, hello. My name is Kevin Holtz, and it is very nice to speak with each and every single one of you guys to teach a little bit more about who we are as a company and what it is that we do. My job is very simple. It's really just to try to balance the scales of information, as right now we know a lot more about each and every single one of you than you do about us. My job is to change that and share a little bit of details with you. So I will go ahead and jump right into it. To get started, some of the things that I'm going to be covering with you guys are pictured on the screen here, including, what we do, not only what we do, but how we do what we do, which is through our marketing and our brand. I'll speak about compensation and what our leadership career track would look like, as well as the impact that we have on the community, which we're certainly proud of. And lastly, I'll finish with some of the expectations that we would have for any potential candidates that we may choose to move forward with. So first and foremost, I always like to start from the very beginning. A good way to know where a company's going is to know where they've been. So we've got roots going back all the way to the year 1900 with Globe Life and over $227 billion of life coverage in force and over 16 million policyholders. And Globe Life is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, part of the S&P 500. The stock symbol is GL. That's our ticker symbol, and you can plug that into Yahoo Finance or any other type of financial search engine to learn a lot more about the stock and some of the growth that we've had over the last, couple dozen years really since then. Now, some of the partnerships that we have include the Texas Rangers. We've got the naming rights for the stadium. It's the official life insurance company for the Texas Rangers. And we've got the naming rights for the stadium itself, Globe Life Field. This is last year's World Series championship team. Also, the official life insurance company partnered with the Dallas Cowboys, proud partner of FC Dallas, which is a local soccer team where we do a lot of philanthropic work, including Paralympics, Special Olympics. And lastly, the newest addition to the team is with the Atlanta Braves, which is a super exciting partnership with us as well. But going back to the roots of American Income Life, we were started back in 1951 by a man named Bernard Rappaport. And Bernard is to American Income Life what Steve Jobs is to Apple. He's our guy. He founded the company with just $25,000 that he borrowed from his uncle and later sold to what's now known as Globe Life. That's our parent company. We're in all 50 states. I know it says 49, but that's because in New York, we're known as National Income Life. Same exact company, just a subsidiary of American Income Life because of different laws and regulations the state has. We're an international company. We're in Canada, New Zealand, over $88 billion of in-force premiums and over 235 different organizations spread throughout all those territories with over 9,300 reps. We're actually over 11,000 reps this year already. That's how much we've grown just up to this point in the year. Also, looking back, a snapshot of the last, 15, almost 20 years, going back to 2007, you can see that, we nearly double every 10 years or so in overall new sales. This is new sales that we're talking about. So, I like to share all this stuff because, for me, I want a company that I can grow with, and I know that is going to grow beyond me. And that's exactly what you get with American Income Life and Holtz and Partners. So important information to share with you so that you can discuss with some of your loved ones. Our equation for the growth that we've been able to create and maintain for decades long. We're talking since 1951, and since the purchase of Globe Life, we've averaged nearly double-digit growth. We've had decades where 9 out of 10 years we grew by double digits, and the only reason we missed is because we grew by 8 or 9% on an off year, which says a lot about the company's leadership. But our whole plan is just to attract future leaders into the organization, train and develop them, give them the proper resources they need, promote those people into leadership positions, and then continue to develop those people along the career track so that you can get everything you want out of this career and move up through the ranks and accomplish all the career goals that you have set for yourself. From there, it's just the same thing, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And that's how we've had this level of success. And we plan to continue that moving forward. Look, all these things are great, but I want to know the brass tacks, right? And what that means is like the financial rating. AM Best, it's the oldest and most trusted financial services rating company. And they rate companies A to F, just like a report card. And as you can see, we're an A-rated company, which is considered, of course, an excellent rating. This is important because it's our financial strength, meaning our ability to pay out claims to policyholders, as well as to make sure that the money's there on Friday when your paycheck's supposed to deposit. It's the little things in life, right? So guys, this is all great, but I got to tell you, for me, what it truly attracted me to American Income Life was the marketing process, okay? It's what really got me excited about the opportunity that American Income Life provides, and I'm going to go in pretty good detail with you on how that works right now. We run on what's called a 4-step invitation process or a 4-step marketing process. The first step is that our public relations team, this is handled separately through the corporate offices. Their job is to meet with all the executives of the different unions, groups, and associations that we work with. Guys, we work with over 30,000 different local unions, groups, associations, people like teachers, Teamsters, pipe fitters, electricians, auto workers, you name it, the list goes on. They meet with the executives of that team, meaning like the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and they decide whether or not they want to work with us. Once the president on that executive board, they decide, yeah, you know what, we want to work with them. They've got a long-standing history of serving this type of community. Then what they do is it's a handshake agreement. The moment we shake their hand, a letter gets sent out to every single member that belongs to that group. So imagine you're a police officer and you get a letter from the Fraternal Order of Police, which is your union. This is who provides, your paycheck every 2 weeks. This is who's putting into your pension and your Social Security and everything else, paying into your retirement system. You get a letter in the mail, and in that letter, the letter basically says, "Dear valued member, your union has entered into an agreement with American Income Life to handle all of the permanent benefits." Below are a list of benefits that they provide. If you're interested in those benefits, please return the yellow 3x5 card, and an American Income Life representative will contact you to talk to you about your benefits, okay? After reading that letter, one of two things is going to happen. The union member is either going to say, I'm not really interested in any of this, and they're going to throw it in the trash, and that's okay, because if they're not interested, we don't want to waste our time or theirs. Or the union member is going to read that letter and they're going to say, boy, we just got married. We should look at this. We just bought a house. We should look at this. We just had our kid. We should look at this. And they're going to decide to return that card requesting more information. Those are the only people that we ever reach out to, are prospects who reach out to us first. The public relations team is doing the prospecting, gathering all the members and sending out the mailers and getting the leads brought in. Our job, the fourth and final step, is simply to reach out to the member that requested that information to meet with them either virtually or in person in their home. Now, our organization does everything 100% virtually. We have nobody that goes into the home any longer. We can if we wanted to. You're welcome to, but I got to tell you, working from home virtually has been the biggest blessing in our lives. And we choose to do everything virtually, and we'll teach you how to do the same thing because that's how our systems operate, okay? Guys, we could have the greatest marketing in the universe, and I realize I'm biased, but I think it's a pretty darn good one. However, if we didn't have the benefits, the products to back it up, it really wouldn't matter a whole lot. So the next thing that I want to cover with you is the actual benefits that we provide to the members after they've requested our services. And it's a real simple concept. Basically, we give the representative, or excuse me, the client an option between two benefits, two options, okay? They could keep their current job. Let's say they're making $17 an hour, they're making $687 a week, or they got offered an enhanced job option. Let's say there were some new union negotiations that took place, and in those negotiations, they fought for an enhanced job option. Well, in your current job, there's nothing set aside to pay for funerals and final expenses. As you know, that's a huge burden for families, especially when things happen unexpectedly. Well, in the enhanced job, what they're going to do is make sure that there's $30,000 available for when Joe dies or when Mary dies in that example. Also, at your current job, you know how it works. You got to clock in and clock out in order to get paid. And if you don't clock in and you don't clock out, you don't get paid. It's a pretty simple concept. That's why they put it right at the front door, right? So at your current job, there's no money there if you're unable to work. If something were to happen to Joe, the union member, his paycheck's going to stop coming in. Well, in the enhanced job, we would keep Joe's paycheck coming in every single week for up to 5 years to make sure that Mary and the children continue to receive that money week in and week out, month in and month out for years to come. It's going to buy her a chance to figure out what she's going to do with her life, her job, any insurance money, keep the home, move, whatever arrangements need to be made. Next is the mortgage. Obviously, the boss is not going to pay off your mortgage if something happens to you, but in the enhanced job, we're going to completely pay off the entire mortgage debt for the member if they were to die and were unable to continue paying off their mortgage. And last but not least, we've got children's education. This is a big one for me just because I worked my way all through college. I worked full-time in high school, all to be able to pay for my own education, which I'm glad I did. However, it's not something I want my kids to do. And so at your current job, of course, nobody's going to pay for your kids to go to college, but in the enhanced job, in the event that you're no longer here to watch those dreams become a reality, they'll still become a reality even if you're not here, because we're going to pay $100,000 to each one of the kids tax-free so that they can do anything they want with that money. Meaning they could use that money to get a 4-year degree. They could start a business with that money. They could use it for a down payment on a home, anything they want. This is a chance for you to leave behind a legacy for your loved ones. And then lastly, all of our plans have multiple bonus features. They're permanent and portable. They're layoff and strike waivered, which means when you're going through the toughest time and you get laid off from your job, you don't need to make these payments. When you go back to work, you don't owe the payments. You just pick up where you left off. All sorts of different benefits that are included. So my question for you, rhetorical, of course, at the moment, is your family worth just 1 hour wages per week? Instead of getting paid 40 hours a week, you get paid 39, but you've got your final expenses taken care of. Your income's protected for up to 5 years. The mortgage will be paid off. The kids are going to school. All of this taken care of for just 1 hour's wage per week. So that's what we present to every single family that requests our benefit and information from us. My question to you is, if you were to see 8 families in a week, how many of those 8 families do you think would end up picking the enhanced job like you probably chose for yourself? So the next thing I want to talk about, it's kind of combined. It's both compensation as well as expectations. And our expectations is that every single week you see no less than 8 families per week. And what we know is, statistically speaking, somebody brand new in our industry with no experience whatsoever, at least 3 out of the 8 people you see are for sure going to enroll into our program. The average person spends about $840 per year to have this program in place, which is right around $70 per month in order to have all of those benefits in place, the final expenses, income, mortgage, children's education, all of that for around $70 a month on average. Some spend more, some spend less. If 3 people are spending $840 per year, then 3 times 840 comes out to $2,520 of ALP. ALP just stands for annual life premium. It's how we're measured and how we get compensated. So if 3 people enroll, you could expect about $65,000 a year in an annual income. But if you work a little harder on your skill set, or you work a little harder and see more than 8 people, then you can get 4 enrollments. You'd make about $90,000 a year. The example I always use is, instead of seeing 8 people and enrolling 3, see 16 people and you'll enroll 6, even if you're a very below average producer. Well, at 6 enrollments, that's $140,000 a year. And that may seem a little crazy, but the next thing I'm going to share are the actual statistics. It says right at the bottom, These numbers are based on just last year, 2023's taxable incomes. We had 1,040 people earn over $100,000 a year. We had another 466 people earn over $200,000 a year. Another 157 people earn over $500,000 a year. I don't need to continue, but you can see with your own two eyes exactly the potential that American Income Life provides. Understand, this does not come without the effort. At the end of the day, you have to do the work to see those clients, but the reward will come from that work. There's no doubt about it. Now, what we're talking about here is upfront money, what you earn on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. But the number one reason that people get into the life insurance industry is for what's called residual income. Okay. Residual income works sort of the same way as sort of like a movie star or a TV star or even a singer. It's called royalties, right? So Jerry Seinfeld, I've been a huge fan of his comedy for years, and I love his TV show. I still watch it today, maybe a little too much probably still after all these years. But nonetheless, I love Jerry Seinfeld. I love that show. And the crazy thing I want to share with you about Jerry Seinfeld is he, of course, stopped taping episodes back in the 90s, but it's reported that still today, from reruns or what's called syndication, he earns over $60 million a year from efforts he put in nearly 30 years ago. Now, I can't sing, I can't dance, I probably can't act either, but thankfully, I don't have to, because American Income Life provides residual income just like the movie stars and singers get. So the way that this works is that for every dollar of business you bring in, the minimum you'll get back is 3%. And I'm just going to show you on easy math here. If somebody's paying $100 per month to have their policy in force, every single month that they make their policy payment, you're going to get $3 paid. And you might think $3, that's not a lot. Well, understand that $3 is just one of many people you're signing up every single week, dozens of people per month. So that 3% starts to add up because it's hundreds of people per year. It's thousands of people over a decade, maybe tens of thousands of people. I'll get into it a little bit more later, but when you get into leadership, you start gaining a percentage over the people that you're leading on the team as well, which is where, you know, some of those really large income numbers come from. Two really important things down at the bottom in bold. Number one is we have what's called a 10-year vesting schedule. Vesting stands for ownership. So what that means is if you're here for 4 years and for some reason decided to walk away, maybe you came into a windfall, or you decided to start your own business, whatever it may be, you would keep 40% of your residual income for the next 10 years. If you stayed for 8 years, you'd keep 80% of your residual income for the next 10 years. But when you hit 10 years, two things happen. Number one, you're of course 100% vested, which means you own 100% of your residual income. But number two is instead of paying you for 10 years, it now pays you for a lifetime. So what that means is that when I die, my wife will continue to receive my residual income. And what that means is that when my wife passes away, my children will continue to receive the residual income from all the efforts I've put in for the last 17 years and counting. A way to leave behind prosperity to your family and loved ones. Also, I won't go over detail in this portion here, but I want to just highlight a couple of the major benefits that we have. We get health insurance reimbursement, which means you get to choose the program you want. And, like if you want Blue Cross or you want Anthem or whatever it may be, you can pick who you're using, get that insurance, get reimbursed based on if you're single or a family or have dependents. And we've got an outline for all that. You get a guaranteed group life policy that covers you up to $60,000 a year with your tenure. Guaranteed career paths, residual income for your retirements, all sorts of different things that you can see pictured. And we'll get a little bit more detailed on that if we invite you in for a final interview as well. One of the last things I want to cover with you before I finish up is the actual career track itself. What we're looking for are not people who want to sort of settle in their last couple of years before retirement. We're looking for people that want to take off, people that really want to do something special, that are maybe sick and tired of the traditional way of getting paid, that JOB, which stands for just over broke. Somebody that's looking to do something different, to get something different. Everybody starts off as an individual producer for one very simple reason: you can't teach what you don't know. And yet we've all been managed by people that are telling you how to do a job that they themselves have never done. So the great thing here is every single person that's mentoring you has proven themselves at the job that they're teaching you to do. It makes perfect common sense, but for some reason it doesn't tend to work that way in corporate America. Your first level of leadership to be promoted in is a supervising agent. That can happen as little as 3 to 6 months. You get a bump in earnings, but also you've got more responsibility helping duplicate yourself into other brand new people. The next promotion is sort of our middle level management position. It's a general agent. This can happen in as little as 6 to 9 months. Another jump in income, but definitely more responsibilities in this position. I call this the most difficult position in the company, and it's only meant to be a stepping stone, which means you should only be doing it for a short while. But we're prepping you for the next position. So you're your responsibilities jumped a lot as a general agent because we're preparing you for all that you'll need to be a successful master general agent. This typically happens within the 1 to 2 year time frame for people that are really moving. But a significant jump in income, a much better balance compared to the previous position. But again, this is so that you can be successful in that position. As a regional general agent, you're overseeing multiple territories, multiple other MGAs, which I consider to be like a GM, whether of a restaurant or a car dealership. You're wearing a lot of hats, making sure that everything's moving smoothly. The regional general agent is overlooking all of those different locations, GMs, if you will, to make sure that everything's moving in the right direction and everybody's getting the growth that they're looking for. Couple last minute things I want to mention. First and foremost has to do with culture. Guys, we have the luxury of getting so many trips and contests and payouts and all sorts of stuff. I just won a trip to Portugal. We're going to be going in just a couple of months' time, actually. We've been to St. Lucia, and just this last year in May, all of our people were in Hawaii for the company convention. We have our own Holtz and Partners convention this past year in January. We're in Punta Cana at an all-exclusive resort. There are so many trips. This next month in July, we're going to be visiting the Texas Rangers Stadium, and we got, I think, 48 tickets between regular tickets and suite tickets. And yeah, I mean, just all sorts of fun stuff that we do, and contests and prizes and stuff. This year, if you were hired on this year, if we chose to move forward with you and we invited you to be part of the team, you could qualify for next year's convention, for the company convention, which will be in Las Vegas, Nevada at Caesar's Palace. We've been there before. It's absolutely fantastic, top notch all the way. But most importantly, what I am personally most proud of is the amount of giving that we do as a company, but also personally as our organization, Holtz and Partners. And one thing that our company does is a program called Make Tomorrow Better. And I love the whole philosophy of this, because I just told you about all these great places they take us to, but everywhere we go, every trip we take, we donate both our time and our money to that location so we can leave them better off than before we got there. And I just think that's a great way to look at life, right? So we do a lot of philanthropy work, everything from, you can see pictures, building bicycles, putting stuff inside of book bags for kids to start school, you name it. We've pretty much done it. We're always looking for more things to do, but it's the most fun and rewarding part of the career that we have here for sure. Okay. Couple last minute slides, what it takes. This is sort of where the rubber meets the road, right? So number one is you do need to have a professional certification. We'll walk you through that process if we invite you to be a part of the team, okay? You'll also need, of course, your own internet, Wi-Fi. You're working from home. You'll have to have a smartphone as well as a laptop to be able to work, or, a desktop, whatever it may be. Training is done virtually, so very simple there. Most importantly is that entrepreneurial attitude. We work virtually from home. So you have to have the self-discipline and the drive it takes in order to be successful. You're working for yourself, but not by yourself. We're there every step of the way to help guide you. But at the end of the day, you must have the discipline to do the work. Now, as it stands with the interview process, the next thing that's going to happen is a candidate assessment. So let me move to the next slide. This is the final one I'll cover with you guys. But once this meeting ends, you're going to click continue at the prompt that from Zoom, and it'll automatically you'll send you a questionnaire. You'll complete the questionnaire. It's just a few questions and then click submit. But you got to do that within the next 20 minutes if you'd like to be considered for a final interview. Now, here's the big important thing. Just in case you do not receive an email from us, or the questionnaire, you will receive an email from us. So just be sure to check your email. We'll be reaching out to you to set up a time to schedule a final interview. And then from there, in that final interview, we will, of course, have some additional questions for you. We expect that you'll have some additional questions for us. And together, we'll decide whether or not this is a good fit and hopefully moves forward with some of you guys on this call. Guys, I appreciate your time. I hope you're as excited about the opportunity as we are of possibly offering it to you. I look forward to meeting with you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.